Hi ladies, it's Friday night wine night. Just going to give it a couple of seconds and see if anyone jumps on. I might just move this a little bit closer. Somebody's there already. Who's that? Ah, Lisa's there. Hi Lisa. Couldn't get enough of me, wanted a little bit more, huh? Nice to have you here. Thanks for coming along. I'm just going to sit here on my dining room table for a bit and see if anyone else jumps in. Stretch. Have you got your wine, Lisa? I picked up something a bit yummy tonight. Oh, shit. My table's going to break one day when I'm sitting on this. So I am partaking of this one tonight. Lisa's not talking. You can type comments in the bottom, Lisa, if you want to join in. Just going to give it a second or two and see if anyone else comes in. No, not yet. Okay, so tonight, oh, there we go. So tonight I am doing some training on making videos for Facebook and for your online content. I was supposed to do this ages and ages ago, like I'm talking about 3 months ago. I was supposed to do some training for the girls in this group. They were asking me about when I make my videos. You are on a Q&A. I'm going to do a Q&A on the end. So get your questions ready if you've got any marketing questions. You know, social media marketing stuff. That's what we're doing here. Hi, Erin. I was wondering where you were. How are you? Emily's there. Emily's at Bathurst, and you're in our group tonight too. That's pretty cool. So I know that Em will have something in her hand. Does Erin have something in her hand too? Hi. Lisa Gray has just jumped into our group tonight. Lisa and I went to school together and she saw me do a live feed on Livestream on my personal page, and she's like, hey, what's all this about? I want in. I want to see what you're up to. So she's come along. Yeah, Emily's got cider. Good girl. That's good to hear. End of the week, you're allowed to let your hair down a little bit. Emily just popped. I'm not sure what Emily just popped. That's interesting, Em. Hey, Karen. Thanks for coming along. I was talking to someone about you this week. Ah, okay. So Em's just popped in to say hi, but she can't hear me because she's around the fire, drinking her cider at Bathurst. Enjoy the cars, doll. Okay, shall we get going? What I wanted to talk to you about tonight was, do you remember that I said I was going to do some training on how to make videos for Facebook, and then I didn't do it, and then I did do it, and then I did delete the video. And then not only did I delete it from my phone, but I went into my recently deleted files and I deleted it from there as well, you know, because I did a really good job of it. And the whole reason for me doing that was that I actually couldn't see what I was doing because these suckers were on the other side of the room and I was being a lazy ass and didn't go get them. So lesson learnt. No, Karen, your ears shouldn't have been burning. We were saying nice stuff about you. I'm not telling you who it was though. You'll never know. So I thought, you know what, I have been trying to get, this video on how to make videos has been on my to-do list for a couple of weeks again, after being on there for a month. And I thought, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it just live into the group. And then it will be there, and if anyone wants it, they can just pop in and grab it. And it's not going to be high-level technical stuff. It's going to be really basic. You know, you can just start doing this tomorrow kind of stuff, because I don't use a lot of, you know, heavy flash equipment. I just use what I've got around, and you don't need to have that kind of polished professional look to your videos because, you know, I kind of subscribe to the idea, hey Rani, hi Michelle, I subscribe to the idea that when you are putting your content into social media, it's essentially not going to be an archival item, you know. In 100 years' time, people are probably not going to pull your posts from your Facebook page and check them out, right? So for me and for the way that I teach marketing, it's all about being authentic. So if your lighting isn't bang on, and if your makeup isn't perfect, and if you stutter and stammer and say and ah and forget what you've come on to say, well, it kind of adds to that, for me anyway. And the idea that it's sort of more impromptu and less planned and less polished and strategized and all the rest of it works better, you know, in terms of creating that relatedness. So creating that relationship building stuff where people say to themselves, oh, you know, she's stammering over her words. I would be doing the same if I was doing a live stream video. So I might just flick this down a little bit because I think you're getting more of the light and less of me. How's that? Better? Okay. Michelle agrees. Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. Give me some hearts if you like what I'm saying, because that's kind of fun to get. I like getting a bit of love. I'm sitting here in my dining room all by myself tonight. Does anyone feel sad for me? Don't, because I love it. But I do like the love, so give me some hearts if you tap on my face and I get hearts on my face. Is there popcorn, Lisa wants to know? Well, no, but there's always wine, and wine's more important than popcorn. You can get your own popcorn, Lisa. Okay, so videos. Min has banged on forever about the value of including videos in your content marketing. And I was really super proud of you girls for doing some live streams in the last couple of weeks. So I just wanted to give you a little shout out about that and say, you know, really, really well done. And a lot of you have overcome some big fears and put yourself out there, and you've done some fantastic work. And I've been watching some of your Facebook business pages after you've had a little play in the group and, you know, had a little trial run. And I've seen that some of you have been brave enough to put them out into the wider world and do actual live streams onto your page, which is really, it's another step out from doing it here. And it's a little bit scarier and it's, you know, a little bit more confronting. So hands up to you for doing that. I'm really impressed, those of you who have done it. And those of you who haven't, I also have noticed that. So Min Stiletto will be up your batucci and getting you to do that as soon as possible. Because, you know, once you start, then the fear starts to go away and it's not so scary to put yourself out there and get your message out there. And the rewards are there because people actually take notice. They take notice of your videos and they take notice even more of your live streams. So I've had a couple of, Lisa said, ouch. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Sometimes we need a little push to do the work, and that's what it's all about. And when you do the work, you get the rewards. And I've had a couple of people this week who have done live streams because I've pushed them to places where they really, really didn't want to go. And then I've got, you know, messages saying, oh my God, wow, you know, my reach has increased so much on Facebook with that video, and I can't believe I haven't done it before now. You know, I should have done it before now. So yeah, if you put yourself out there, you're going to get the rewards. But if live stream isn't your thing, if you're not feeling that brave yet, Jones just jumped in, and Jones a newbie to Facebook live stream too. Her and her off-sider Deb have done quite a few this week. I think about 3 or something, haven't you, Joan? And really great, really, really good work. Some of them were about 2 seconds long. No, they weren't. They're a little bit longer than that. But they're getting braver, and the quality is, you know, stands out from the first one that they did to the latest one. It's like chalk and cheese. It's just amazing. It's fantastic. So, okay. video, and what does Min do when she makes her videos. So a lot of people talk to me about not knowing what to say, and I hear a lot of stories about how, you know, I knew what I wanted to talk about, I went and did the video, and then afterwards I thought, oh shit, I haven't done that, I forgot to say this, you know, that kind of thing, and they sort of, that's a big fear, you know, leaving stuff out. So I want to show you some of my little tricks. Well, this is my big trick. This pen and this pad of post-it notes. So you'll notice that I often do my videos in my car. When I'm sitting at the school gate, I've got 10 minutes of doing nothing, and 10 minutes is a lot of time to be doing nothing for me. It's not okay. And so I tend to do my videos when I'm in the car waiting for Elias to come out of school. So, excuse me. I just had to pull a drawer out so I can put my foot on it. So I keep these in my glove box of my car, and I make my notes on it, and then I stick them all over my dashboard in the order of the things that I want to say. So 1 point on each post-it note, and they go on my windscreen, they go on my dashboard, and then if I still have stuff to say, because let's face it, Min often has a lot of stuff to say, the post-it notes come down over the steering wheel as well. So I think all the mums at the school gate think that I've completely lost it, so I cover my car with yellow post-it notes in the 10 minutes before the school bell goes, and then I have this thing that I love. It's this thing. You see that? It's by a company called Logitech, and this is a really fairly strong magnet on there, and on there that little tooth bit actually clicks into your vent in your car, so your air conditioning vent, and it just slides in there like that, and it just stays. And you know, I'm a pretty crazy driver, and it hasn't fallen off once for me yet. And I can, then you get like another magnet thing that you stick to the back of your phone, which I can't show you because obviously it's on the back of my phone there. And so you stick that to the back of your phone or to the back of your cover, you get in the car and you put it on there. What's it actually called, Erin? Is that your tricky question for the night? It's called a thingy. So Google Logitech thingy. I'm trying to think what it's called. I don't know. Car iPhone mount. That's what it's called. Don't know. I think it was about $40. Wasn't expensive. And it's just really, really cool for just mounting your phone in there. And, you know, I can do little videos while I'm driving around town, whatever I want, you know. It's great for, you know, if you've got GPS on your phone or whatever, if you're not flash enough to have it in your car, you can have it mounted up there in front of your face as well. So Logitech, Logitech thingy. You can get them out of Autobahn to mount on your dash. Okay, there you go. Joan says you can get them at Autobahn. Pop into Autobahn and ask for a thingy for your phone, for your car, and they'll help you out. So that's my trick for my car and the post-it notes. So do you want to see I've got post-it notes over here. I'll show you. This is the other thing I do if I'm at home or wherever and I'm doing, turn that around, and I always try and make sure that I'm in front of a wall or a mirror or something, and so they all go up there in order of what I want. Flick you back around. There we go. Actually, while I've got you off there, what I'll do is I'll show you this little gadget that I've got. So the other phone on is one of these. Can you see that? It's like a tripod, and it's over here. It's got this little remote. Oh, whoops! I broke it. It's got that little remote control thing, and the best part is these little suckers that make it all telescopic. Hi, Jessie. Jessie's joined us too. Lisa says I'm totally making that up. Lisa, I make a lot of stuff up, but you know, people don't question me, so I just keep doing it. No, I don't, guys, I don't. So this tripod thing will actually extend so that it's... So I can put that on the ground in front of me and stand in front of it, and you know, if I was so inclined, I could do a little dance for you, but no, I'm not going to do that because you're not giving me any love. I'm not getting any hearts, so you're not getting any dances. That's it. So that tripod is the best one I've found yet. I have found some really, really flimsy ones, and what happens is, I'll just flick you around. Can you see this bit here? So it needs to be sideways when you're doing live stream, as we've discovered, because if you have it up like this and then your phone goes across like that, the live stream won't turn it around. So what you need is one that's kind of fairly stable, fairly strong, that when you put your phone in it, it's not going to fall down. Because I've had, when you put your phone in sideways like that, it actually topples the whole thing, like it misbalances because it's not sturdy enough. So that's my big tip, is spend a little bit of money. They're $50 or something. I think I got that one from on eBay. So and again, you can probably pick them up locally, but I liked this one because it had that telescopic option to put it on the ground and stand in front of it. And it also came with the good old-fashioned selfie stick. Erin got a mini tripod at Officeworks this week for $10. Awesome. So Erin, can you let us know if it's any good? You need to be able to turn your phone around like that. And I can remember when I first started doing videos, my MO for doing them, for having my phone standing up, was I got my ironing board out and I put a box on top of my ironing board, and then on top of the box I stacked a heap of novels, and I just stood the iPhone up against the books. So, you know, like basic stuff. You don't need to have a heap of gear, and iPhones and Samsung phones are really, really good with their cameras now. I don't know about the other brands, but I do know that those two give good enough quality for you to post it on social media and also on your website as well. Good enough for that too. Erin says she did a video this afternoon and all good so far. Awesome, great. $10, there you go, done. And if you get the eBay version, you also get the selfie stick, and you can use the remote control with that as well, because it Bluetooths to your phone. Apparently, the kid tells me that. I haven't tried it, but he's got it all sorted out. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to videos is lighting. You can buy, hire, borrow big light boxes like Professional Studio, those big square light boxes. Karen's leaving us. She's going to do her homework. Okay, doll, the video will be here for you later. Have fun. Lots of luck. So you can get those, and they're not too pricey on eBay or whatever if you want to. But I find, I don't know if you saw that light when I turned the phone around. Well, essentially what I do to begin with is I've gone around my whole house and I found all the spots that have the best lighting. So all the spots where I stand that are near a window that kind of has nice filtered light. You essentially want to filter your light a little bit. You don't want harsh, bright sunlight straight in your face because it'll wash you out. You don't want light behind you, because, you know, only behind you, because you will fall into shadow. And so I'll show you actually how that works. I'll just turn these ones off and you can see, if you've got light behind you, what it does to you. Can you see how that sort of blacked my face out a bit? So I'll put these lights back on. So I prefer not to do my videos at night because I don't like these lights on behind me, but even if I do them in the day, over here I've got French doors, and so the light comes in there. But I still put on these lamps because they kind of fill in the light on my face and take away some shadows and hopefully make me look 24. Do they make me look 24? Yeah. Yes, they do. That's the right answer. Anybody? Anybody? No? Okay. So, light. You see that lamp there? The paper one? So that was literally $10 from IKEA. And that's just my lamp that I always have in my dining room, and I always have it on in my house because it's just a nice warm sort of glow to it. But this is the one that fills the light on your face really nicely. It gives you a soft light fill on your face. So I would say that you could probably pick up one of those from Kmart for about the same amount of money. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when I turn that off. So that's with it on and that's with it off. Yeah. And when I turn the other one off, you can see the difference. So I'll put my white paper shade one on and that's with the other one off. Yeah, it's just like you can see that it's sort of filled in some of the shadows on my face, but when I put the other one on, it kind of warms things up a little bit. There we go. So I just think you kind of just have to test it out for yourself, you know, have a little bit of a play around and see what you can come up with. But I would recommend you getting one of those tripods, if nothing else, or, you know, one of the ones from Officeworks, because it does definitely make your life a bit easier. So something else that I want to talk to you about today, that was kind of it for the video stuff, really. There wasn't, I kind of rambled a bit on the other one. I can't remember what else I said, but I think that's about all. If I think of anything else, I'll pop it in. So essentially it's just about doing whatever you need to do to feel kind of secure in what you're doing, you know, secure in putting these videos out and taking away as much of the fear as you can. So kind of negating the idea that you might fail. So having your notes, having your, you know, put your makeup on if you want to put your makeup on. I don't generally do videos without makeup, and I know a lot of people subscribe to the idea that if you go and put makeup on, especially to do your videos, then it's inauthentic and you should just do them with your dressing gown on and no makeup and all the rest of it. And I just think, well, I actually wouldn't open my door like that, so I'm not going to open your phones and let you see me like that. Nobody needs that, right? So, you know, that's just how I prefer to do it. Oh, editing videos. That was your question from last time, Karen, wasn't it? Hang on, I'm going to open this drawer so I've got a footstool. Okay, editing videos. Often I don't edit them because I just kind of say what I need to say, bang it up there, it's done, and I'm on to the next thing. It is easy to edit them if you've got the right software. And again, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. I have got a video editing suite called Camtasia. Camtasia? Yeah, Camtasia. I think I paid about $300 for it or $400 for it or something. So that's a one-off cost, and they do keep increasing, you know, the features to that. So you do keep getting extra value for your one-off purchase price. But to be honest, for social media purposes, I just use iMovie a lot of the time. So I use my iPad and I use that app called iMovie. You can add in royalty-free music and you can add in some text if you want to put subtitles over your videos, which is really a great idea if you want to get people to click on them and actually play them, so that then you get Facebook recognises some extra engagement. So if your videos are played for between 2 to 10 seconds, then you get that recognised as sort of someone engaging with your content, and that increases your algorithm. So then Facebook will show your content to more people tomorrow and the next day, you know. So yeah, I would use iMovie. There's loads and loads of apps that you can use on your phone or on your iPad just for splicing video together and taking stuff out. A little tip for when you're doing videos for training programs and things like that, when you make a mistake or you keep saying like I do tonight for some reason, can you use iMovie if you don't have an iPhone? No, you can't. You might have to convert to Apple, Karen. But there will be, you know, the Android equivalent. There will be something. I'm just not an Android girl, so I can't tell you what it is. But there's loads and loads of apps for making videos that are available. So, and I've used quite a few of them, but they're all on my phone, so I can't really look right now. But I might send you some. I'm trying to think of the names of them. I can think of what they look like, the little app symbol, but I can't think of what they're called at the moment. But just go to your app store and find the ones that work the best for you. My tip for editing out mistakes is this: when you make a mistake, have some sort of physical action that you can do that will mark the video that that's a mistake. So when you're editing it and you've got like strips and strips of frames of you speaking or whatever you're doing, you want to be able to recognize really quickly where there's a mistake in that strip of frames. So what I do is I generally put my hand up, or I put my fist up, or I do something that says, okay, I stuffed up there, I need to cut this bit out, okay? And so then I'll just stop talking. So on the audio track, you've got lots of peaks of sound that you can see while I'm talking, and then I make a mistake and I go silent. So there's no peaks for a period of time. Editing sounds like I need a workshop day to get my head around the technology. YouTube, Karen, just find the app that looks the easiest for you to use and go to YouTube. Somebody will have made a tutorial about it. So, okay, you make a mistake, you put your hand up, you stop talking for about 3 seconds, and so you get like this long piece of film or long piece of video where there's no sound, and then I usually count 1, 2, 3. So you get 3 really definite points in your soundtrack. And then you'll know that at that point, after your 3rd peak, that's where the video starts kicking in again. So you will cut your video film and also the soundtrack from the point just before your hand goes up to the point where you've got your 3 peaks in your sound thing, and then you'll cut that piece out and splice them together. And it's really not that hard. Mostly it's just like dragging, you know. So if you want to cut a piece out, you'll drag a highlighted strip across the bit that you want to cut out, and then you'll push those 2 pieces back together on the dashboard. Really easy. So is there any other video questions while we're on video? Something else that I thought of. Sometimes long videos take forever to load onto Facebook, like I'm talking hours sometimes, for no apparent good reason. I can't figure it out. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sometimes they just go straight up and sometimes they don't. Hey, thanks Lisa. She's got to go. Her phone's about to die. Hope you've got wine. Enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon, Dom. Bye. Hi, Penny's here. Hey, Penny. How are you? Haven't seen you for a little while. Penny has been traipsing around the world. Penny does awesome tours in Morocco, and it just looks so beautiful over there. So if you're interested in getting to Morocco, Penny Breyer is your girl. You'll find her in the group. What was I talking about? Uploading videos to Facebook. That's right. So sometimes they take a long time to to upload because they're so long, they're so big. So you can actually compress them on a lot of, there's some free websites that you can upload your videos to, and it will compress them. And I actually recommend if you ramble like me and you've got really long videos that you need to upload somewhere, even onto your website. Hi Preeti, how are you? Nice to have you here, darling. If you've got big long videos you need to upload, I would use a video compression software that you can find free online. I use a software called Clipchamp. So that's C-L-I-P and then Champ, C-H-A-M-P. So I just upload my videos onto there. It goes through a process, it compresses them down so they're smaller, but you don't generally lose too much quality. Just check though when you do it, if you're going to lose any quality, it will be in the sound when you're doing this. So don't just watch it and assume that it's okay. Turn the sound up and double check that as well. So what I will often do then is upload them onto my YouTube channel, and I'll make them private so that not everyone can see them. So when you do that, or unlisted, I think it's unlisted is the name of the privacy setting, and that means that you need to have a link to see that video. So anyone can see it, but it won't appear on your channel list, so people aren't going to stumble across it. So I will do that if I'm doing paid content for courses and programs and things like that. So you will actually need to have the link. So when I'm emailing out people modules for courses and things, hey Marilyn, how you doing? Nice to have you here. When I'm emailing out links for emails for courses and modules and things like that, I'll just include the YouTube link for that particular video, and people can access it that way. So that's a really good way to do it as well. And that will actually upload faster onto Facebook than just direct from your phone. So if you've got a big video and you want it to upload faster, use YouTube, but keep in mind that if you do use YouTube to upload your videos to Facebook, that it will penalise you in terms of reach, because YouTube, Facebook doesn't like third-party video apps to be used to post content to Facebook. So it prefers you to just sit there and wait 5 hours. Although if you use a compressed version that you've run through something like Clipchamp, then it won't penalise you, because it doesn't recognise that. It just sees that it's a video that you've put up. Yeah? Does that make sense? Can I get some hearts or some thumbs or some love if that makes sense, or if not, then I'll know that you want me to keep talking about that. I don't know if that makes sense. No, I'm going to assume that it does. Let's go with it, it does, yeah? Okay. So, I think that's all I had to say about video. I've said it once before tonight, haven't I? And then I found other things to talk about. Has anyone got any questions about... Elisa says it makes sense. I thought you were gone. I could have been talking about you. And you're still here. You would have known. Okay, no questions about video? Okay, so last week I gave you girls a challenge to do a live stream, and you would think that given that I've been talking about video now, that your next challenge that I'm going to throw out to you will be video related, but it's totally not, completely not. Lisa, I'd never say anything that I wouldn't say to your face, Dove. I promise you. Actually, I read something today that said, a good friend says nice things behind your back and horrible things to your face. And I think that's kind of true of most of my friends. They're quite mean to my face, but they say beautiful stuff about me behind my back. So I think I might subscribe to that rule. So that would be, no, I don't think I'd have anything nasty to say about you, actually. I haven't seen you for ages, so I wouldn't know. Okay, so the next challenge is this. I was called today to connect with people. Part of my marketing efforts in my business is to connect with like-minded people, just to sort of get inspired and get motivated and, you know, just kind of get that creative stuff going on, you know, find out what other people are doing. And when you see people that are kicking it in the space that you want to kick it in, then it inspires you to do the same, you know. So I often do just reach out to people on Facebook and be a bit of a creep and, you know, say, hey, how you doing? Like your stuff? Want to be my friend? That sort of stuff. It's like when I tell my people to, you know, my girls to sit out the front of people's houses and make them love you. You know, that's the best marketing tip I can give you. I kind of do that sometimes, that thing. So, I'm running out of wine. It's okay, there's a bottle over there. Don't anyone panic, there's more wine. Erin, did you get wine? Are you still there? You were going to have wine with me tonight. I can't tell if anyone's drinking wine with me. Em was drinking cider and now she's gone. And I could be just sitting here getting quietly trashed by myself. But that's okay, isn't it? You won't laugh at me. So I was called today to reach out to some people. I hadn't done it for a little while and I just sort of felt, Erin's got a cappuccino. Oh, well, that's not as fun. You'll be up all night. I was called to reach out to some people whose content I had seen on Facebook, and what they were talking about really resonated with me. And I just sort of thought, you know what? Sometimes we put all of this content out and we don't always get to hear what people think of it. We don't always get to hear if people have resonated with it, if it's spoken to them, if they're even getting anything out of our stuff. You know, we might get some likes and we might get some shares and we might get some comments, but we don't often hear the good stuff. You know, we don't often get the compliments. So what I did today was I messaged a couple of people whose content that I'd seen, and I just basically said to them, hey, you know, caught your, hey Emma, how you doing? We've done a little bit of training tonight on how to make videos, so make sure, you know, my little tips on making videos for social media, so make sure you catch up on the recording. But now I'm talking about how I connected with some people whose content I really liked on Facebook this week, and I just kind of messaged them, just sent their business pages a private message and said, you know, hey, I caught your video that you did, or I saw your post on XYZ that you put on Facebook this week, and you know, it really spoke to me and I really liked hearing what you were talking about this, and you know, I got this out of it and that sort of stuff. So, you know, I didn't ramble on and make them fear for their safety or anything like that, but I just kind of was there and said, you know, thanks for that, you're doing a great job, and just thought you might like to know that somebody was into what you were saying. And it was kind of cool. I got a couple of responses back. I just did it to a few people, and one of the responses that I got back, actually two, one of the people that I messaged was somebody, it was a local business person, so I'm not going to shout out the name because there's a lot of local people in my group, but it was a local business person who was doing some fabulous work in the field that she worked in. And so I just kind of let her know that, you know, I was really pleased that there was someone working in that space local to me, and that I really appreciated all of her efforts, and, you know, that I was watching what she was doing and I really loved it. And so she responded to me, and another woman responded to me. And essentially what they said was, you have no idea how powerful that private message was to me and how much I needed to hear that. And both of them had had really awful weeks and, you know, had been beaten up online about some of the stuff that they'd been saying or whatever, you know, because not everyone's always going to agree with you, are they? So, you know, from time to time we all get our haters, and, you know, we just have to deal with them. But no matter how tough you are, some of that stuff goes in, you know. And the other woman had a really severe illness in her family, and her partner had been given some really bad news this week. And she told me that what I had said, which wasn't, you know, it wasn't that special, it was just what I felt, had actually brought them both to tears tonight. And I just thought, you know what, when you're called to tell someone something like that, when you're called to pass on a compliment and you feel it in your heart and your gut says to you, this person might need to hear that, then it's really important to listen to that, because it might just be, you know, that you're getting some guidance from, I don't know, do you believe in God, in the universe, in whoever it is that is your higher being go-to, that, you know, I really do feel that sometimes there are little messages that we get, and we should really listen to them, and particularly go to your stomach area, and when you're feeling that you should maybe do something, then listen to that, because somebody out there might actually really need to hear that. And, you know, my agenda for doing this, sometimes I connect with people that, yeah, you know, hands up, I do think that they might benefit my business, and I might be able to collaborate with them or work with them, and, you know, we could both do something together, and that's my driver for connecting with them. And sometimes it just isn't. Sometimes it's just to have really cool, like-minded people in my circle, and, you know, to sort of feed off their energy, and for them to feed off my energy as well. And that was more about what these messages were about today. So, my challenge to you this week. Here we go. I'm just going to have some wine. You can have a think about what you think it might be. I bet you know, because you know me enough by now, right? Can you hear my dog snoring? My dog's just on the other side of those doors, and he's snoring. I can hear him. I don't know if you can. He's a bit cute, but he's in the bad books tonight because he was barking a lot. So my challenge to you this week, if you are up for it, is to get out there into the land of social media and find people that you follow who inspire you. Lisa says that she can't hear my dog. Do you know what, Lisa? You said goodbye and you're still here. Have you noticed? I don't believe you're going at all. I don't think you're going to sneak off at all. I think you're here for the long term, which is good. I like it. I quite like that you're there. So that's my challenge to you. Get out into social media world. Find people that you follow, that inspire you, that, you know, speak to you, that whose stuff resonates with you, and that you keep going back to. You know, those people that you, when they pop up in your news feed or on Instagram, her phone hasn't died. Yay for phones not dying. I like that. I like that you're still here, Lise. So find those people. I want you to find 3 people. And I want you to send them a private message without agenda, without looking to get anything out of it for yourself. And just kind of give them that one-on-one shout out and say, you know what, hey, I saw this that you posted, or I love your stuff, or you're doing a really great job, and I love how you're helping to empower women. I love how you're helping people to become healthier versions of themselves. I really like how, oh, Marilyn's screen's frozen. Sorry, Marilyn. I'm still moving. You know, just kind of tell them what the value is that they are giving to the world that you're taking, because it's a really nice message to receive, and I think it's a great way to connect with people and to kind of draw that energy into your circle, you know, and to draw those people in around you. And, you know, it may just be that somewhere down the track you might have some sort of business arrangement with them, you might collaborate with them. But I really don't want that to be your driver for this. I just kind of want you to think of it as like a karmic currency, you know, like that you're just kind of paying it forward without having received something, because it's just a really, really cool thing to do. And if you do this, if you take up this challenge, I would really like you to post in the group and tell me what sort of response you got. You know, tell me what if people came back to you. What you put out. Erin says it's a lovely idea. What you put out, you get back. Absolutely you do, you know. And I don't know if I've told you this, but I am not, I guess I'm a pretty tough cookie. Like I don't, sorry, I sort of need a drink. I don't generally cry. As a rule, I cry about 2 or 3 times a year, perhaps. If I, you know, use a hammer and bash my finger, and then I might cry. But as a rule, I'm not somebody that cries at movies, and I'm not somebody that cries when I have an argument with someone. I tend to go to that anger place more than the emotional sad place. But when I got both of these messages back today, I just went to water, and I just thought, you know what, it's incredible that I can sit here in my little house in country Victoria and in Australia, and you know, one of these girls was down the road from me. Erin says you need to work with me, LOL. No, I'm quite happy not crying. It's okay. I'm happy being the tough chick. It's all right. I've been the tough chick for quite some time now. I know, yeah, I know. It's a bit of an issue, isn't it? I think sometimes I do wish I could be more of a crier. But I just thought that it was pretty amazing that I could connect with one of these women. Was all the way over in the States, and you know, she said that I made her week because she'd had such a bad week, and she just really, really needed to hear that message at the end of the week. So get on it. Find 3 people whose message resonates with you, and you just want to let them know for the sake of letting them know, with no agenda. You don't intend to get anything back. Just give it a go and let me know how you go. Let me know what people say. I'd love to hear what happens. Okay, so I did say that Friday night, wine night with Min. The wine's almost gone. I'm going to have to top this up. While I'm topping it up, I did say that we would do a Q&A. Oh, Marilyn can't see me. Sorry, Marilyn. It must be your internet connection, I think. So, but look, if you come back into the group a bit later on, I can't even remember where you're from, Marilyn. I should know. Actually, I think you're from the States, aren't you? I think you might be. So that means that it's probably early morning over there, right? So pop back into the group a little bit later on, and you'll see the recording. But thank you for hanging around, even though things weren't working so great. So I just wanted to put it out there and ask if there was any questions. Does anyone have any questions? It can be about your online marketing. It can be about getting yourself visible. Did you see my wine that I'm drinking? I did say I was going to find something red and exceptional tonight, and I have to say I've done pretty good. It's called 9 on the Roof. It's from the Adelaide Hills, and it's a nice Cab Merlot, which is not usually my wine of choice, but this one kind of jumped out at me from the shelves tonight. So does anyone have any questions? Erin, I thought you had a question for me. You said that you were saving one up for me. No? Okay, cool. Good. All right, well, you can always pop questions into the group if you want to. I did want to mention to you girls, particularly, well, in particular, Erin says, okay. Okay, that's interesting. That's a good question. How do you stay mindful and present when dealing with social media? And she says it's been a bit of a challenge for her this week. And I know we spoke in our session, didn't we? I hope I'm not giving away secrets from our session, but we did talk about, you know, the problem when you've got kids running around and you know, particularly little ones, and you want to stay present for them, but you've got work to do, and Min is there behind you going, you've got to post on social media every single day, you need to get your message out, you've got to do whatever it takes until it takes, you know, and it's about your messaging and getting it out there to the people that need to hear about you. And it's hard to do that when, you know, from 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, you've got little monkeys hanging off you and you need to be present for them. So I guess for me, it's about being mindful and dealing with your social media at the same time. Compartmentalizing, I think, just saying, okay, I need to get this done, and really it takes 5 minutes to do. So step away from your life, you know, and just be mindful of in that moment, you know, of what you're doing and creating content. And I guess when you've been doing it a while, like for me, you know, I've been doing it for years now, and so it doesn't take necessarily a lot of creative effort to create that content. So I guess, you know, it's not a lot of time and it's not a lot of effort to put those posts up. So for me, I will just step away from Elias if he's kind of being a bit needy and you know, wants me around and stuff. And you know, there's times where I'll wait until he goes to the toilet and I jump on my phone and post something, or I'll say to him, you know, you can have 10 minutes of playing your game on your iPad, and I'll whip out the front of my house and do a live stream. So I think it's about kind of compartmentalizing stuff, but being mindful in the moment that you're creating content as well. Yeah, I think that's kind of it for me. And I guess when you have a mindful sort of consciousness where you have that mindset and that frame of mind going on in your day-to-day life, it actually serves you well for coming up with the ideas for content, you know, because you sort of have that overall awareness of what's going on in your world. And when something happens, like for example today when I messaged these women and sort of shouted them out to themselves and said how great I thought they were, that came from that awareness when I was engaging with their content online, and I sort of got that vibe, you know, I sort of got that idea that it was a good thing to do to contact them and sort of reach out. So I think that, I don't know, does that answer your question, Erin? I certainly don't spend a lot of time just mindlessly scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. I find that is a surefire way to become brain dead. It's almost like I create the content for the other people. I create the content for the people that are sitting on their couches watching TV at night. You know, I don't know, it's the way that I work. Okay, so this is the way that I work social media. I have certain people that I follow, and I actually yes, I did also say to you last night that when it starts to feel like work, put it down. Absolutely, absolutely, because that's when this stuff starts to suck your soul out, and it shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't feel hard, you know. It's, if the message that you're sharing is one that's aligned and one that that you're called to share, if it's your true message, if you're walking your own truth and you're sharing the things that you're called to share, that you're drawn to in your business, that are the things that light you up, then it doesn't feel like work, you know. But if you're doing a lot of it, and I know, you know, Erin, I've been pushing you a little bit further than what you're used to in terms of content creation. So, you know, I've got you posting on multiple platforms and multiple times during the day and stuff. And often that's just a change of habit. And so when it's something that you're not used to, it feels harder and it feels like a push. So when it gets to the point where you feel like it's just really draining you and taking you away from your family, absolutely not. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't have your phone in your hand. You should put it down, you know. I guess for me, as far as engaging on social media rather than content creation, it's about managing it. So I have certain people that I follow. There's a lot of crap that I miss on social media. I have no idea what my personal friends and family are posting. I just don't see it. I have certain people that I follow because they are clients of mine, sometimes because they're in my group, and I need to see what they're doing. I have people that I follow because they're... Oh, hey, Kelly. Did I say hi to you? Hi, thanks for joining. I have people that I follow because they inspire me and they motivate me. And I have people that I follow because they're that couple of steps ahead of me in their business. And I sort of like to see what they're doing, and I model a little bit on what they're doing. So, you know, it's not really about keeping up with the Joneses, but, you know, it's about being inspired and getting ideas from other people. And I always say that you don't need to reinvent the wheel, that you can do similar things to what other people are doing. If someone else is doing something and it's kicking it and it's getting them, you know, if I do something and it earns me $1 million, then I fully expect you to copy that, you know, and put your own spin on it. That just makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you, right? So in my news feed, I have certain people that I follow, and in the notifications or in the follow preferences, I put that I want to see their stuff first. Okay, so Erin, for example, you get nominated in that space. I always see Zest counselling services stuff in my news feed first, and I see all the mentors that I've had in the past that I want to keep up with. I have all the people that do similar work to me that I want to see what they're getting up to. And often it's just because I admire their work and I want to see what they're up to. And I have certain family and friends as well. So I nominate to see those people's content first, okay? So it doesn't take me a long time to get through my newsfeed because I just see those first few things that pop up and then that's the end of the story for me. I don't really, you know, and then I'll jump into some Facebook groups that I'm a part of that I want to engage with because they give me really good value and give me good ideas and stuff like that. And that's kind of it, really. I do manage some social media pages for a couple of clients that I've hung on to from my previous business, so I hang out on their stuff a little bit, check out their stuff and make sure there's no work for me to do. I hang out in Ads Manager a bit as well. But that's kind of it, really. I certainly don't mindlessly scroll through Facebook to see what people are getting up to. I really sort of take control over that. And that's so that I don't find myself, wasting time. So, you know, I can turn around and find that I've lost an hour, and an hour is really precious to me in any day. Or if I have lost an hour or two, then I find that really dumbs me down, you know, because I'm looking at people's whinges and their complaints about their bloody husbands. And hi Jennifer, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. We're coming to the end, I think, but really nice of you to come along. So I'm up to the Q&A section. So if you have any questions about your online marketing, please put them in the comments. And I'm just answering Erin, who was talking about how to stay mindful and present when you're working with social media. So my recommendation was to compartmentalize and, you know, sort of be quite strict with yourself and have certain things come up in your news feed and not come up in your news feed, and certainly not to sit for hours on end mindlessly scrolling through Facebook, because I really think that that sucks all the goodness out of your brain, because you see all the negative stuff. And I really believe that, actually, this is something that you may not know about me. I don't watch the news and I don't read the newspapers, and I kind of work on the theory that if we're about to go through a Holocaust or a nuclear war, somebody's going to tell me about it somewhere. And I keep a little eye on the topics that are trending on Facebook, because I pretty much live in Facebook. So on the right hand side, when you're on a desktop server, there's a section that says the topics that are trending. Often it's Kanye West. Guess what? I don't click on that because I don't care. But if it's something that's kind of like world politics or, you know, local news that I need to know about. And actually I had a conversation with a man at a networking event that I went to, and he was talking to me about the local newspaper. And I said to him, look, I honestly could not tell you, it's been years and years since I've actually opened that local newspaper. And I said to him, you know, I just find it quite depressing, and, you know, I'm basically absorbing all of this negativity, and it's really hard to do my manifestation work, and it's hard to do my creative work, and it's hard to stay positive in my life when all of the stuff that I'm absorbing is all of this negative stuff. And that's not to say that if if 9/11 happened again tomorrow, yeah, absolutely, I'd be glued to the TV, but I don't kind of seek it out as a daily thing, you know, and I just kind of figured that somewhere along the line, you know, I have the radio on in the car, and, you know, if a headline comes on and I do happen to be in the car when I hear it, then I figure I'm meant to hear it. But I certainly don't seek it out. So, and I kind of feel a little bit the same about my Facebook newsfeed. I sort of feel that, which kind of contradicts with me teaching you how to get your message out there, I guess. But for me personally, I'm not a scroller. It doesn't work for me, you know. If I need to find something, if I think that there's some information or some content out there that I haven't come across that will serve me, then I either work on the theory that it will come to me, like it will just happen to pop up in front of me and I'll see it when I'm meant to see it, or I use the Facebook search bar and I go looking for it. So I hope that answered your question in a roundabout way, kind of, Erin. Yeah, but as far as kids, you know, sometimes you just sort of have to step away from them for 5 minutes. And when you've been doing it for a while, I certainly, if my child needed to hang with me, needed to just have a pillow fight, or needed to have a sword fight, or whatever he needed to do right there and then, there's no way that you'd find me with my phone in my hand, because, you know, I understand that in a couple of years' time he's going to be hanging with his mates and not wanting to have a bar of his mum. So, you know, I have a really good awareness of that. Yeah, it's about finding the balance. Absolutely, it is about finding the balance. And you know what? Sometimes when you know, I mean, you know your kids, don't you? When it comes to your kids, you know if they really, really need you, then you're there for them. But sometimes they just kind of need a little bit of a push to also be independent. And I do sometimes say to Elias, you know, I need to do a little bit of work now, just give me 15 minutes and I'll be with you. And then when I am, we'll do, you know, X, Y, Z, or some cool fun thing. And that's okay as well, you know, because like I said, you know, before, that it's important to expose your kids to your business and to let them see what you're doing, because there's some great lessons for them to learn from doing that. And you've seen my monster doing his YouTube, his videos into my Facebook group and stuff this week. So, you know, he's picking up some really important lessons too. Yeah, it's about boundaries. You're right, Erin. They need to learn some boundaries. Absolutely. And I think, you know, sometimes we, well, I know I do. Sometimes I forget that and I pander to him a little bit more than what he actually needs. And I'm maybe not, you know, he's pretty independent though. He's an only child, so, you know, he's got it. Any more content questions? While you come up with your questions, I want to talk to you, local girls. I was going to bring this up ages ago, wasn't I? Local girls, I'm going to do another marketing workshop. I did my last one in May, and I've had people asking me, you know, almost every week, when are you going to do another one? When, you know, have you got some events coming up, whatever. So I did my VIP day in June. I did another one just last month. And I haven't done another marketing workshop. So this is going to be specifically for women, obviously, because it's not that I don't like men, but I just, you know, I know how women sell, and I know how to get them selling more. So it will be for women, and it will be on, what does my note say on my mirror? It says the 11th of November. So the 11th of the 11th, that's pretty easy to remember. It will be at Three Little Birds. I think that's a Friday night. So I've had a chat to Cade, and he's happy to open up for us and pour our wine and feed us some yummy food. And it will be covering things like authentic marketing. It will cover things like getting your message out. It will cover things like getting over your fears and allowing yourself to be, you know, to tell your true message and to get it out there to the world, and to draw in the people that actually need to hear what it is you've got to say. So it's not about that icky kind of sales techniques. It's not about being a used car salesman for anybody. It's about just basically marketing, being your own brand through being yourself and getting your own message out there. And so that's kind of all the stuff that I'll teach. So it'll be about 3 hours, and there'll be actionable stuff. I will have, I think last time I did like a social media strategy calendar that we worked through, and sort of planned out everybody's social media content for about a month, and they got to tuck that under their arm and take it with them, so they had something to continue on with afterwards. So there's lots of really good value in it, and lots of really yummy food. Traralgon, yes, Traralgon, Lisa. Yeah, I should actually do one down your way, shouldn't I? Lisa's down Mornington Peninsula, is that right? Down the beautiful part of the world. Yeah, I should look at doing something down there. I think it would be kind of fun. Can I stay at yours? Can I come to your house and drink your wine? She hasn't answered, but I'm going to take that as a yes. Will you take that as a yes? Yeah, it'll be in Traralgon. So anyway, what I'll do is after this, or tomorrow, I will put up my ads about that, and I'll post them directly into the group. So there'll be a link that you can buy tickets on there. I'm expecting them to be, oh, Lisa said, yay, I can stay. I can have sleepovers at Lisa's house. Lisa and I actually went to primary school together, I think. We did do that. So we can, we'll relive our sleepover days from way back then. Yeah, so I think that the workshop will be priced at about $49. So for about 3 hours worth of fun and games with Min, and lots of value and trainings on getting your message out there. I think that Min might have run out of things to talk about. So I'm going to just see, has anybody got any questions? Any more questions? There's only a few of you left, I think. I might have put everyone else to sleep. I'm dropping my pen. No? Okay. All right. I'm going going to wrap it up. I'm going to call it a night. Oh, Sarah's just joined, and Sarah, Lisa's in. Okay, cool. Awesome. You can have sleepovers at my house if you like, Lisa. Drink my wine. So I'm sorry, Sarah, but I'm just wrapping up. Thanks, Kelly, for hanging around. It was lovely to have you pop in. I was surprised to see you tonight. Okay, night, Erin. Thank you. I will talk to you all soon. And don't forget your challenge. Get in touch with 3 people and let me know how you go. Okay, take care, guys. Good night.